The clue is in the name. Hey guys, MasakoX here, and Dragonball Super has reached its 64th episode, therefore equaling Dragonball GT's episode count of, 64. With this number reached, I felt like it was a fitting time to discuss whether Super's made more of an impact on the Dragon Ball psyche than GT ever did in its own run. Now let me get this out of the way, Dragon Ball Super is not finished, nor does it look like it's going to be finished for a sizable amount of time. The arc that we find ourselves in currently, the Future Trunks arc, looks like to be going on for about another 5 episodes, so 68, 69 could be its endpoint. But who knows if there's going to be more arcs going forward. But let's be honest here, this series is going to continue until either one of two things happen. 1, a major cast member dies, or 2, the series becomes unprofitable. So let's get started with a big plus point. Akira Toriyama is involved in Dragon Ball Super in a sizable capacity. He may not be writing it fully, but his seal of approval is all over this product. The cliff notes and character designs are made by Toriyama, and then the Toei writing staff go from there. And the formula seems to be working, if you discount the first 2 arcs, which were basically rehashes of the movies. To me, Super feels more like a complete package. It seems to be a perfect example of the way Toriyama's blend of comedy and fighting works well. You get the serious, tense moments, but then you get the slapstick moments to kind of ease up on the tension, because if we got tension all the time like we sort of did in GT towards the second half of that series, it just gets repetitive, dry, boring, weary. Oh my god, when is this going to end? Can we have some light relief? Oh my god! Super knows when to kind of pull back on the accelerator a little. We get 2 or 3 episodes which are quite tense and thought-provoking, but then we get 1 episode which is a little easier on the soul. I personally prefer that pacing. It leads to a more fulfilling experience. GT sort of felt weird. Something about it didn't feel right, and I think I can chalk it up to the first arc. Is that GT tried to ape Dragon Ball, and that's okay. In fact, that's pretty good, because Z was relatively dry on the Dragon Ball slapstick. Goku, Trunks, and Pan gallivant off across the universe going, la 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 la, we're finding Dragon Balls, and oh my god, oh, that's a funny thing there. Oh, there's a civilization that needs our help. Oh, the japery we're going to have. Yeah, they seem to forget about the fact that if they don't get a move on, the Earth is about to blow up. That's going to put a dampener on any sort of comedy, because you got that little nugget in the back of your brain. That and the fights being dragged out unnecessarily because they just have to hold back on Super Saiyan, even though we know it's there. And instead of innovating Toriyama's storylines like Super seems to be doing, they're just straight out copying. There are plot points which are lifted straight out of Dragon Ball. Toriyama's involvement with Super has been absolutely beneficial, because he has the oversight to look at what the Toei staff are doing and therefore make some changes and make sure that it doesn't diverge too far off the beaten track. With Toriyama's input, he can teach a new batch of writers to match his style and go forward for decades to come. I love Goku. A lot. I especially love voicing Goku in Dragon Ball Z Abridged. But even I have my limits, and you may think that he's being shoehorned into Super a lot, and his idiocy has reached a whole other plane of existence to the point of annoyance. Note the Future Trunks arc especially. But that's nothing compared to GT. Now you may think that GT stands for Grand Tour, but it doesn't really. It stands for Goku Time, a long-held belief in the Dragon Ball community. And it makes sense. In all of the arcs, Goku is the linchpin. Yeah, Pan and Trunks were involved quite significantly in the first arc, only the first arc mind you, but as the villains get stronger and stronger, their powers pale in comparison to Goku's, and it's up to Goku to go, basically no one else can do anything, so it's all up to me. That compromises Toriyama's ability to write compelling side characters, in that the side characters in GT basically do not exist, or at least meaningfully. Thankfully, Vegeta makes a meaningful appearance in the second half of GT, and the side characters do get to do a little bit of sparring with the Super 17 Hell arc. Oh yeah, and being zombies to baby. Yeah, that's meaningful character development. Now, Super does fall foul of that similar trait in that Goku and Vegeta are the main focus, but their side characters do much more. Especially Bulma. Whilst the others are fighting, she's gathering information, or helping them fix the time machine, or sassing up to Beerus, standing up to a god. That's pretty badass. Then you got Kid Trunks actually growing up because of his future self giving him a kick up the arse. His future self himself, one of the most popular characters from Z, makes an appearance in Super. People have been craving for it, now they get it. And his character development has been astronomically brilliant. Gohan's evolution from fighter to father. You may not like it, but I think it's a really bold move on Toei's part. Pilaf, Shu and Mai. I thought they were shoehorned in characters in the Battle of Gods movie, but you know what? They're alright. And especially Mai, future Mai, is absolutely fantastic. Vegeta maturing into a true prince instead of a rage depository. Beerus and Whis along with the god hierarchy, and much more besides. GT kind of just stuck to what they knew. There's far less memorable plot points in GT, other than Super Saiyan 4 and the Evil Dragons. Those elements were cool. Maybe I should make a video about ways GT could have been improved. Speaking of Beerus and Whis, with their introduction, the scope of Dragon Ball has been infinitely expanded. We now have multiple universes to discover. GT kind of just trudged along with the same old story and formula, aside from it being on different planets, mixed with tired transformations and rehashed plots. Now we have 11 other universes in Super, the potential is now limitless. We've just seen a taster of that with the Universe 6 arc, Zamasu being from Universe 10. Where can it go? This is fascinating for us Dragon Ball fans. We've been craving for new stuff for about 20 years now, and now Toei has given us that. We can just go anywhere, and it seems to be within our grasp. Yeah, some of Toei's decisions up till now have been grating on hardcore fans, but maybe it's a necessary thing to keep Dragon Ball fresh and open to new fans. We have to take the rough with the smooth, but it's worth it in the long run. Dragon Ball Super is all about the Super Dragon Balls and the way they make an impact on the series. Remember how Z felt a little lacking about our favourite wish orbs towards the tail end of the series? Other than wishing the planet back, but it just seems to be a bit more of a convenience rather than a mythical force. Super has kept the balls relevant. Much more relevant. Thanks to the Super Dragon Balls, Shampa's Earth got revived, and Zamasu's plan was put into full motion. Without these balls, both arcs would have been totally different, or non-existent. Yeah, GT did dabble in the whole experimentation with Dragon Balls. I mean, we had the Black Star Balls, and the Evil Dragons, and the fact they got corrupted. That was interesting, but the execution was just really lacking. That being said, both series did improve on the second half of Z. GT does have the upper hand on animation. It feels a lot more on model than Super does, but let's be honest here. That's because GT came right after Z. The expertise was fresh and it was right there for the picking. Technology's moved on. We now use digital animation and digital colouring, so we're not going to be able to copy GT's and Z's style without immense cost and time restrictions. That's not going to make sense in a modern animation world where time is money. The only way that this could feasibly be done is if we had no time limits, we had no budget restrictions, and it was more of a niche product, so you could experiment with these type of things to get noticed. GT's advantage here is kind of moot. But in the end, Super feels like it's making much more of an effort to be a genuine Dragon Ball product. Truly, it had a catastrophic start, but it's now settled into a good formula. It feels much more developed, and really, they should have just started Super at episode 28, with the two movies being a TV special. Some Western fans may not like the new humour, or they may think it's weird, or they may think it's different to what they know from Z. This is what Toriyama made. If you go back and actually watch the original Dragon Ball, Super feels like it's actually harking back to that, but then going forward with something new, innovating, whereas GT just copied. Super is new. It feels new, but it also feels familiar. If you were to ask me, now or in the future, if Dragon Ball Super was canon, I would gladly say, yeah, it is. So those are just my thoughts about why Super is better than GT so far. I'd love to know what you think. Leave a comment and let's get this discussion going. So as usual, be sure to like and subscribe, and until next time guys, catch you later.